I've recently released a Dying Light 2 video where I reviewed the game for 2024 and the years to come. However, I don't feel as though I did the game justice with my biased review. I only focus on the negativities of the game and none of the positives. And so with that being said, I want to look at how the game has evolved over the last year since my previous video that I had made way back at the beginning of 2023. I'd also like to mention real quick that all my hours in Dying Light 2 have been logged on Xbox, and that for this review video I'm playing on PC, which is why my skill level and weapons have not been unlocked and will not be reflected in this current playthrough. Over the last year, Dying Light 2 has received a total of 7 updates. Some of them are minor, while others are simply game-changing. These include the addition of legendary levels, the Gut Feeling Update 1.10.0, which focuses on physical combat and the brutality that revolves around it, more dismemberment for bodies, every limb can be sliced into 3 places now, the Good Luck and Good Night Update 1.11, which introduces both visual and, more importantly, gameplay changes to the world. As well as that, mod and map creation has also returned, and is better than ever with plenty of fun and exciting community creations to check out and mess around with. While I haven't given it a try yet, I'm sure that there are some really good maps out there for us to sink our teeth into. Throughout my playthrough for this review, I experienced a couple of crashes. I cannot pinpoint what caused them, so I'm just going to call it user error on those, as they could not be replicated. In terms of graphics, I didn't really see any changes in the graphical department since the last time that I reviewed this game. However, nighttime definitely is a lot darker than it was previously. I also noticed that while the game runs flawlessly on my system around 90% of the time, there are still some hiccups with loading new areas. But for the most part, it's only happened in the cities where the environment is densely populated with buildings, peoples, cars, and of course loads of zombies. Zombies have seen major improvements over the year. They got more difficult to deal with, they don't grapple onto you from 10 feet away anymore, but they do swarm you much more realistically. They're more difficult to deal with as the zombies level increases with yours, so if you're level 10, so are they. This change forces players to think outside the box on their runs across town. You can choose to run on the streets, but be warned you most likely will run into a cluster of zombies you don't make it back from. Sticking to the rooftops is the best bet. However, on the rooftops, there are some that aren't as friendly as others, and this is where you'll find the Renegades. They're a group of human enemies who are ruthless. They specialize in close quarter combats and archery, making it a pain to take a group of them out. However, they no longer overpower you and seem to have been toned down to give you more of a fighting chance in defeating them. The one mechanic that makes Dying Light, parkour. It's seen massive improvements over the last year. Now it feels very fluid and fleshed out as it should. Running on the ground, jumping off buildings, doing all other neat tricks Aiden has up his sleeve no longer feels like you're doing on the moon, but rather on Earth. Can I even count the amount of hours I've spent jumping from rooftop to rooftop, or jumping off a tall building, just landing on the car 200 feet below, just to get up and walk off like it didn't obliterate every bone in my body. While I haven't unlocked the grappling hook on this playthrough, I do have it on my first go round for my Xbox, and it was a really fun time. Using it as a new tool to traverse the landscape added a new level of challenge to my time in Villedor. With every weapon being melee, the developers knew they had to put time and effort into making each and every one, and that's exactly what they did. Not one weapon is the same as another, with the ability to upgrade its tips and shafts, yes, pun intended, giving each weapon its own unique feel, and giving you a way to approach combat differently each time. Using a katana will allow you to slice limbs off of the bodies, and using a hammer will allow you to deliver that deadly blow to the head. The combat system has been tweaked, making zombies and humans more deadly. They begin new attacks that will grapple on you if you get too close. The second DLC pack for Dying Light has been delayed to 2024, but that's okay, as I'd rather have quality content over quantity. Some of the crossover events they've done are really cool, others are not. That's just my opinion, so don't take it personally, please. They did, however, add an option to skip some of the beginning missions to shave up time of being able to play the game with friends, as well as add an option to skip all lines of dialogue while talking to NPCs. While I do think Dying Light 2 has seen some major improvements over the last year, there are still some issues that plague the game. Playing the game with Ray Trace enabled cuts the FPS in half. And yes, I know I don't have to play the game with RTX to enjoy the game, but it would be nice to see it implemented in a way that doesn't tank performance. I've also had issues with the parachutes. There'd be times when I would use it as I miscalculated my footing, and it would cause the parachute to not open, and I would fall to my death. I would occasionally get stuck on the side of objects that I was trying to climb up, or I'd get stuck on broken objects that were scattered around the city. It'd also be nice to be able to transfer my save file from one console to another and vice versa, so that I would be able to pick up where I left off instead of having to start from scratch. I'd love to be able to repair my weapons, but I'm unable to do that as the option from the first game has yet to be put into the second game and could possibly never be put into the second game. Overall, I give the game a 7 out of 10. It's fun, but it's not perfect. And while I know Techland and I know that they are working on improving the game every month, I cannot wait to see what 2024 has in store for us. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.